Thank you for joining us today and learning more about Kitchen Tune-Up. I want to just take you through a little bit of our services. This is really just a brief introduction to our business and our industry and a little bit about who we are as a franchise. And at the end, I will give you information so that you can connect with us and learn even more. And while you're learning about us, we're also wanting to learn about you and understanding your goals and dreams. You know, one of our goals as a franchise is that we can take everyone's dreams, put them together, and figure out ways to make them all come true. So let's learn a little bit about Kitchen Tune-Up. So here's our brand. Our brand is all about delivering an experience in an industry that doesn't always have the best reputation. So when you think about remodeling or updating your home, the first thought that probably comes to your head is, it's going to be such a hassle. It's going to take time, it's going to take money, and trying to find the right person can be really challenging. And so our brand is striving to be different, and we have been since day one. We use our trust points. We are doing everything we can to make the customer's experience one where they want to invite us back. They would love to do another project with us, and they're for sure going to tell all of their friends and their coworkers about the great experience they had. So it's not so much about the end result, although that's great. It's kind of what people expect. What they don't expect is that during the whole time they're having fun. The communication is great. It's easy to talk with us and find out what we have to offer. And so we're just a very transparent brand that's doing everything we can to connect with the customer and the homeowner. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Heidi Morrissey, and I'm the president here at Kitchen Tune-Up. So I'm second generation, and that means that my parents actually started the company about 32 years ago in 1988. My dad had a cabinet company, and he realized that he needed to do a pivot, which is kind of our word of 2020. And that pivot was he had a cabinet business, and of course there was a recession, and he needed to find a way to continue paying his employees and his mortgage. And he came up with this idea that he could repair or make cabinets look better using something he called a tune-up. It wasn't really refinishing, it was just something that could make the cabinets look fresh and new again. And after he started doing that, he realized what a need there was, eventually started to franchise it in 1988, and throughout the years he's been adding more and more services on to the demand of the consumer and also listening to the franchises. He asked me in 2003 if I would come into the family business and help work a little bit with the company so that he might take a little more time off. And so even though I had zero experience in this industry, I really liked the idea of our families all living in the same town and also continuing on this legacy that he had already built. So I came in ready to learn and spent my first 14 years as vice president of sales and marketing, and took the company through rebranding and really got to know our owners just like my dad knew them. And eventually in 2017, my dad decided to fully retire, and that's when I became president. And since then, we've been having some really explosive growth. As my dad was winding down, his time as president, he just really had not wanted to start anything new or new initiatives. And, that was okay. I mean, really, after somebody's put that many years in, it was not a big deal. But I came in with a couple of new goals, and he's been excited, cheering me on by the sidelines now as he watches some things that the company is doing. All right, so I'm just going to take you through each one of our services. We have what we call 5 core services that we can do in the kitchen, bathroom, or really anywhere there's cabinetry in the home. The tune-up, of course, is the namesake here. We're just coming in and making those wood cabinets look so much better. Customers so appreciate having a maintenance service, and this can be recurring revenue for your franchise. So our average ticket is right at $26.69, and we have a gross profit of 73% on that service. Our next service is our painting service. So it's just like it sounds. We paint the cabinets and the doors. And of course, our franchises don't do this work. They are hiring people to do everything that needs to be done in the business. And so our average ticket for painting is around $69.36, and it has a 52% gross profit. Our third service we offer is redooring, and we just take off the doors and the drawer fronts and we put new ones on. So this one can be very popular for people that just want a style update, but they like the color of their cabinets. We also sometimes will upsell a paint job to putting on doors, and so we might paint the box and put the doors on. So a couple of options for that. We do have an average ticket of $6,532 with a 55% gross profit. So our most popular service by far is the refacing service, and we take off the doors and drawers here also, but this time we're going to veneer the box and put on end panels so that it looks to the eye as if it's a brand new kitchen. The main advantage of a refacing is that you don't have to tear out your countertops, your backsplash, or your flooring. And this is really not even highly skilled carpentry work. Most of what we do is very simple, like the veneering is more like wallpapering, putting on panels is not difficult, and hanging doors and putting on drawer fronts. So it's a relatively easy service, therefore easy to find handy people to kind of take care and do this work for you. Our average refacing is a little over 10,000 and we have a gross profit of 53%. So of course our fifth service would be custom cabinetry. So when somebody does want new, whether it's a new design, a new layout, or they are taking out all their flooring and want to have it really start over again, our new cabinets can certainly do that. We do have designers to help our owners so that we aren't expecting our franchises to become kitchen designers from this. In fact, our franchise owners really run the business. The details of how the stuff is done is very different in our industry than it may be somebody that just starts up their business and has to learn every element of it. We're really looking for business owners and people that like marketing and sales to get their businesses going. Right now, our average ticket for our part of the cabinet project is around $12,089 with a gross profit of 43%. Overall, our average ticket is around $7,600 and we have a gross profit of 57%. So we have 5 ways to update the kitchen, normally in 1 to 5 days, very quick and easy. In fact, our financing program, it showcases that most of our services fall between $99 and $249 a month. So when we market that, people start to realize that maybe they can afford to get their kitchen done now. And the interesting thing, obviously, is there was a real estate survey that went out, and one of the things that happened during the stay-home orders was there was 2 realizations people had about their homes. One is they wanted more space, and 2, they wanted to update their kitchen. And of course, we went from spending very little time in our kitchen to spending every single day in our kitchen. So that was some changes that we saw happen, throughout this time of, kind of the COVID time, I guess is what people are kind of calling it now. And so our owners, were able to continue scaling up their marketing and staying very busy during that time to talk to people. Now we have additional revenue streams because my dad was really big into offering more stuff because so many times customers loved what they received from us. They wanted to do more work. So we also have custom closet programs. We have lots of accessories, but specifically like rollout trays is kind of a big thing with us. Garage cabinets, granite tune-up, which is also recurring revenue. And during the time of COVID, we did come up with the DIY Plus program. So for any time that somebody was not wanting someone in the home, we did have a program for no contact, type of a service. It's not all of our services, but it's a few of them. It's kind of like having 8 franchises in one system when you start looking at all the different things that you can do. These ones are not what you're called your required services. They're just there for our franchises that want to use it for scaling. Speaking of that, we have a very scalable business model. So some of our owners are home-based. Some of them will go out and get some sort of office space off the home, and others will open up full retail centers. It's really depending on what you want to do with this. Like how many employees do you think you'll have? Will you use subcontractors? Do you want multiple vehicles? And those things usually change and shift as people get into business. So they come in with it, maybe wanting to start it out very controlled by doing it home-based. And then as they start to see what the business can do, they may decide to scale it. Although some people will stay in their home-based model for the entire time they're a franchise. So there's no push to go into a different model, but that is available for people that are looking for something and a way to grow and really just to have a space maybe outside their home that they can have customers come into and employees. So one of the things that KitchenTune-Up really excels at is we really love communicating with our franchises and being transparent because we believe that's an important part of being a partner. And so we don't have this adversarial relationship. Besides all of the training that we do, online training as well as in-person training, there's a lot of things that we're doing to communicate regularly. One is a weekly email. I started writing this in 2003 when I first came to the company, and I decided to call it the Monday Morning Tune-Up and never knew that, 17 years later, I would still be writing this weekly email, but it's become part of our culture now, and people look forward to having an inspirational piece each week. We also have always had a monthly newsletter. we've got this great private Facebook group where our owners are able to ask questions, post pictures of things that they're doing. You'll see them having fun and posting little jokes and things because, it becomes an extended family when you're in a franchise that has that culture. And of course, we've got things like an online site where people can store all their documents, and all of our, templates and stuff are in there. And we have our webinars, reunions, and last year I launched a couple of podcast stations specifically for our owners. They are private, but they have the ability for us to do interviews and talk to successful franchises, and also to just do a daily little motivational talk, about things that are coming up. And of course, during the time when the world's changing really quickly, that can be really important, is to have timely communication so that we can keep having discussions as a franchise and everyone knows where everyone stands throughout that time when they might be feeling like they aren't able to connect with people as well. So what does a day in the life of a franchise look like? Well, it kind of depends. I think every day is probably a little different. Every franchise will come in thinking they're going to wear different hats. And then as they start to launch their business, depending on how they want to scale it, depending on what their skill sets show up, they will make some decisions about who they're going to hire and what jobs they're going to do. So whether they're project managers, salespeople, sales managers, or they're out in the community, being kind of ambassadors in the community and helping people to know about the brand. So there's a lot of things that our owners do. If you want to go to ktufranchise.com and click on our tab, A Day in the Life, you can actually read a whole bunch of different bios, just like this one, about the franchise owners, and just kind of a day that we pulled out of the calendar and we said, hey, tell us about yesterday. And we just wrote up those so that you could read them and see what a day in the life could look like. But I think the key takeaway from that is that it'll probably never look the same day after day. So if that's important, it's good to know that now, right? Is that each day is going to be a different day, that you might be doing things that, you hadn't done yet the day before. And that's kind of interesting for people that like it, and could be a little bit more unsettling for somebody that really likes a straight routine. So of course we've got 3 different models of operation. We've got our single unit model, which is $72,000. That's going to include your fee, your territory, and your package. And then if somebody would come in and say they would like multiple territories and they're all contiguous, so they're all touching, 2 packs or 3 packs are available. And for people that go through a more rigorous process, that decide they want to become developers and develop a bigger market, we're happy to certainly have that conversation and start that discussion. Obviously, we ask if you want to learn more about us. We're kind of all over the social media. So you can find me specifically, Heidi Morrissey, at LinkedIn. Just send me a note and I would love to connect with you there. What about Twitter or Instagram, YouTube? How's Pinterest, Facebook? We're everywhere. Go ahead and connect with us and follow us and see all the things that we're doing. It's going to give you a great picture of what this business is like and what the culture is like. And then when you're ready to go ahead and have a conversation, feel free to reach out to Chris Ty. She's our franchise coach. She's your first point of contact, and she's at chris@kitchentune-up.com. We try to keep it simple, and the number is on the screen at 225-4049. And the same exact number, but just a different name on the email, would be Craig Green, our franchise director. He's been doing this for a long time. He's talked to a lot of owners and helped them to get into business. So once you've talked to Chris a few times, you're probably going to be talking with Craig and going through things like your franchise disclosure document and learning all about franchising. So as you guys are looking at this, if this is something that's really interesting to you and you want to learn more, there's no obligation to you, right? It's just reach out, have a conversation. If it's not of interest, just let us know. We're always looking for partners that have kind of that Toonie heart. Our franchise calls themselves Toonies. They call us homies. When somebody starts out, they're a baby toonie, and eventually they might even become a Toonosaurus. And if that culture sounds like fun for you and something that you would enjoy doing, then give us a call. We'd love to connect with you and see if this is something that would fit for both of us. Hope you guys are having a great day.